Welcome to Old School Sports, and thanks for joining us for our introduction to Tennis Manager 2021, a game we've been playing for the last couple of months. If you know Football Manager, that's the easiest way to describe Tennis Manager 2021. It's Football Manager for tennis. You eventually grow to manage a team of tennis players, help guide their careers, train them, enter them in tournaments around the world, and try to drive them to the top of the rankings while also earning money for your academy. So we are starting here. I am starting as a novice, the lowest level possible. And you see that you have a choice of a number of existing established academies that you could join that have much more resources, much more money, and also much more talented players available to them. You can see here the IMG Academy in the United States, and the players at their academy include very promising young juniors as well as top 50 players in the world like Kei Nishikori. Similar situation if you look at the French academies with Tsitsipas, or you go to the Rafa Nadal Academy with a top 4 woman in the world in Alexandra. But we're going to make things a little more difficult, as we like to when we play these games. So we are going to create an academy from scratch. They recommend that we don't do that, but it will make things more challenging. So we are going to create the OSS, Old School Sports Tennis Academy. And we are going to be based here in the United States. Our logo is fine. We're not going to spend a lot of time thinking about that. And we are going to start at the bottom of the barrel, basically, with our sports center, our medical center, our business center, and our youth and scouting center, all at level 1. What that is going to do, it's going to severely limit the quality of players that we can get to sign with us initially. We are going to have a medium budget, but as you will see with the cost of upgrading the various parts of the tennis academy and the amount of earnings that we'll potentially be getting from the portion of our players' careers, we will be under pretty significant budgetary stress, even with hopefully our board of directors infusing $500,000 a year into the academy. Our vision is to be entrepreneurs, cost containment, and search for profit to invest in order to improve its reputation. Given that we are level 1 on everything, we're going to have to try to be making money, especially in these early years, to build better facilities, which will ultimately allow us to attract better players and train them more effectively. You can see we've got realistic choices here, which means that we're not going to be able to sign any real top players. Given that we are based in the United States, we are going to focus on bringing in a American for our first player, and we will go with the highest rated men's player that we have access to at this point, Maxime Cressy. You can see here, excellent serve. Issue is not always sure where it's going, but we can work on hopefully improving his serve accuracy over time. Has pretty solid mental characteristics. Given that we are a level 1 tennis academy, many of the trainings will not be available to us in early stages. So a player who's reasonably well-rounded in terms of his physical and mental capabilities doesn't have any glaring errors that we may not be able to address for a few years. Seems like a good way to start. You can see he's 2.5 stars right now, 3.5 star potential. Ranked number 168 in the world. So we are going to begin our career with Maxime as our primary player. So we're now in the game, and we'll take a look at what we're dealing with. The first thing we're going to look at is our academy and the infrastructure. As I mentioned, we're level 1 on everything. With level 1 sports center, it only allows us to have 1 player on our team. So we want to upgrade that as soon as possible. So we will put some money into that, and you can see, as I talked to earlier, when we get to level 2, that will give us capability for training such as sprints, upper body strengthening, and lower body strengthening, and also let us add a player to the team by constructing a running track and a gym. So clearly pretty important if we're going to have world-class tennis players like Maxime working with us, that we can give him some better training. So that to me is a logical upgrade. The other upgrade we're going to start on right now is an upgrade of our business center. You can see that if we click on that, $150,000, also 5 months, and it will increase our average revenues per month to $7,000 by building a store where people in the area can come and purchase tennis-related items from us. So that's going to be important too, to improve our cash flow, because right now we're only generating about $2,000 a month on tour through guided visits of our tennis center. We're going to need to be generating more money to pay our costs. So we've quickly blown through $300,000 of the $500,000 that we started with, but 5 months from now, we will be in a modestly better position than we are now for our academy, when we can upgrade the sports center and also upgrade the business center. Looking at our staff, everyone is as inexperienced as me, unfortunately. You can see me as the main coach. I'm a novice, 1 of 9. We do have 1 physio on staff who's also a 1 of 9, but you can see ability to provide care is a 7. Only a 1-year contract for Aisha Nahimana, so we may actually fire her and see if we can acquire a better physio at a decent contract level. It'll cost us money to dismiss her, but we do want to keep our 1 player as healthy as possible, so probably need to upgrade the physio. And then our support staff, we also have an agent, an analyst, and a scout that are all lower levels. The agent will help us to attract contracts, racket contracts, clothing and sneaker contracts, etc. for our player. Given that Maxime is only ranked 168th in the world right now, we're probably going to stick with the agent that we have right now, and then hire someone at the end of this season who is better, when hopefully Maxime is higher rated, and we'll be able to attract more attractive contracts for him. Analyst kind of helps analyze during the matches, let us know things that could be changed in terms of our strategy to be more effective. And then the scout helps scout potential players and potential opponents for us. So important, but not as important in terms of Maxime's performance this year as potentially upgrading at physio. So we're probably going to look to hire a new physio and also bring on a couple of trainers, because you can see right now I am in charge of everything with Maxine, coaching him, his technical training, his physical training, tactical and mental training, and the training game plan. So I am overworked, and as you can see from these limited number of stars, I am also not particularly useful at any of these things at this stage in my career. So the plan is to use a little bit of this money to probably pay out a couple people, or at least 1 person that we want to replace, and then add a couple new trainers to the team who will hopefully help us position Maxime for more success as the season moves along. So we're back at our physio profile, and we are going to dismiss our physio. It's going to cost us $18,000. Going to have to pay out the entire monthly salary now, have them leave the staff immediately, but we can only have 1 physio on the team, and we want to have someone who can give better care than a level 7. So we are going to fire her, and now we will go to look to add some trainers and a better physio to the staff. We're now at the physio recruiting landing page. We only want to display interested staff, which you'll see there's a lot of legends and very experienced physios here. When we click on that, the opportunity set for us to hire is a lot smaller than it was before, because we are a new starting and not particularly prestigious academy to work for. If we look here at Axel Pella, though, he's solid, level 5, 16, ability to provide care. So significantly better than our previous physio was. Let's see how much it's going to take to actually recruit him to our team. Have to pay a decent signing bonus and monthly wages to get him for the next 3 years, but we have one player. We need to keep him healthy, so we need to bring on a decent physio. So I'll accept the 3-year proposal. Going to try to get the monthly wage and the signing bonus down a little bit, see how he reacts to that and where his patience is. Unacceptable, obviously, that we cut it that much, but we'll try to keep moving it in a more economical direction for us. He's getting a little nervous. We'll try to cut the wage and signing bonus just a little bit. Remember that we were paying $2,000 a month to our previous physio, so pretty big upgrade for only $1,700 extra a month if we are able to land him. Starting to lose patience with us, so perhaps we won't push it much more. Okay with the signing bonus staying there. I'm going to try to lower the monthly wage just a tad to save a little money, and not working. So at this point, I'm going to accept the terms that he is proposing, because the other available physios to us are going to be much more expensive or a lot less effective than him. So we'll accept those terms, and he'll give us his final answer within the week. Next step will be to try to recruit a few trainers to help us develop Maxime. So we're now recruiting trainers. You can see again, only interested staff, so a limited number of higher rated people for us to consider bringing onto the team. Being in America, we'll try Cheryl Pitt first, see what she is good at, and very good here at you know, all of the kind of physical you know, skills that the player is going to need. So could definitely help in terms of development of all of those areas of Maxime's skills. If we do bring on Cheryl, then we're probably going to want to look for somebody with some strong movement, mental abilities, mental and tactics for our other trainer of the two that we can hire. Because you see here, when we look at our assignments, coaching is going to be me, but the technical training is what I was talking about with Cheryl. And you can see down on the bottom of the screen that serve, forehand, backhand, the highlighted things in green are the most important things. So she'll be a good technical trainer and better than I am. Physical is reliant, again, in the bottom middle of the screen, on movement and physical abilities with a little bit of mental. And then tactical and mental training, very focused on mental and tactical skills. And then we'll ultimately someone for the training game plan. So we're going to want someone with skills and abilities in both of those columns. But Cheryl looks like she's definitely a good potential person to bring on to help with at least one half of the equation. So let's see what she's looking for in terms of a contract. Only wants to be here 1 season, but her monthly wage and signing bonus are pretty low. So for a good quality trainer, as far as you know, the actual tennis skills, I think she's someone to think about. We're going to try to save as much money as possible, lower the monthly wage and the signing bonus, and see how she reacts. Terms are unacceptable. We'll try a little lower. Still hopeful. All right, well, we'll see if we can get a little bit of a lower monthly wage while giving her the signing bonus that she wants. She's playing hardball with us. At this point, we're going to accept her terms, which are a little lower than we started at least. And she'll give us her final answer. Hopefully we'll join the team, leave the negotiation, and now we need to find somebody who's good with some of those mental and tactical traits. So I'm going to add some filters here to find to kind of distill this list of candidates down into people that fit our needs more specifically. You can see that we've added in a number of filters here to find potential candidates who are really strong at tactics and at least decent or better at mental, movement, and physical abilities. So when we add that screen, you can see that we've cut ourselves down to one trainer who fits all of those criteria. She's a very experienced level 8. You can see fantastic with all of those types of skills. I do tend to think that's probably going to be a little expensive for us, given the financial constraints that we're already under, and the fact we're probably not going to be earning a ton from our cut of Maxime's earnings. Yeah, $6,300 a month is going to be, close to $75,000 over the course of the year, plus a $25,000 signing bonus. Even if we could get that down a little, it's going to be a little too expensive for us given our financial situation. So we're going to have to pare back our expectations a little bit and try to find someone that's not quite as good as Mahalia. So if we go back to the filters, we will edit these and see if we can come up with a more economical solution. All right, we've cut down our filters a little bit, a little less greedy as far as movement, physical abilities, and mental, and also opening it up to someone who's not, doesn't have quite as high a floor as far as their tactical skills. That does open up one additional person to us. Angel Mora, too expensive, but Bert Jatovsky from North Macedonia is at least respectable. I think this is probably the direction we need to go. So we'll offer Bert a contract. Monthly wage pretty low, and signing bonus also not excessive. So that's good to see. Wants to work with us for 3 years. We're still trying to save every penny we can. Let's see. All right, we're gonna. There we go. We've got a contract that looks good, so he'll let us know within a week also. So we're potentially adding some staff, which is good. We need to bring on some people to help us coach Maxime to reach his full potential. All right, we've moved forward a couple days, still waiting to hear on our 2 trainers and physios, whether they will actually sign the contracts. But the board of directors has given us our goals for the season. Keep our current player, although we can have 1 accepted departure, so that should be pretty easy to hit. Have a balance of over $0 at the end of the season. Obviously need to do that, which is why we've been cautious with the money we're spending. Reach level 2 for the sports center and the business center. We've started both of those, and then only have staff with salaries below $31.49 a month. So we've made offers, and I think our highest was probably that amount. So I guess they don't want us paying any more than that. So that will limit us a little bit if we look to hire somebody else. But since we're planning on keeping our agent, our scout, and our analyst for this year, and just kind of letting those lower quality people run out their contracts, hopefully it will not be an issue for us. If we take a look at our contract with Maxime, haven't done that yet for those who are not familiar with the game. He does have equipment contracts. More important is the agreement with the academy. So he's with us through the end of this season, status of a secondary player, and we get 24% of his winnings. So that is the incentive for us to help drive him along. And you can see as far as meeting those goals, he's 168th in the world. We need to get him into the top 100 for him to be happy. Also have various goals as far as the levels of the tournaments. It looks like he did reach the round of 64 of one of the Grand Slams last season, but we will need to do that again over the course of the next year with him to make sure that we've achieved that goal. And then also wants to kind of get into a Masters 1000 event, reach the round of 16 in a slightly lower level event, and then also improve his ranking as far as United States players to get from 15 13th to 14th. So I think that's a pretty manageable, those are manageable objectives for us, but I wanted to kind of lay out exactly what we are trying to do with Maxime over the course of the next year. All right, we're in mid-December now, and it's time to start registering Maxime for tournaments in the upcoming hardcourt season. We do not want to let the staff handle our registrations. Some people do that, but we like to register everyone ourselves. So we don't want automatic registrations for Maxime. We want to figure it out ourselves. We're not going to play in week 53 once we get Maxime to the academy. He's on vacation now still, but he should be there, I believe, tomorrow to start training with us. We will want an extra week to just kind of keep working on getting him into great shape, and also focusing on hopefully making his serve more accurate. So we'll take a look through the calendar of the upcoming season and let you know what we decided on as far as where we are going to register him. All right, we worked out our schedule for the hard season. We're going to start with a ATP level 80 event in the U.S. at the Orlando Open, which we've registered him for. Hopefully can do pretty well there and earn up to 80 points for rankings, which will help position us better for the future if we're able to be successful there. Then we are going to try to qualify for the Australian Open. Have to probably win 2 or 3 rounds in qualifying to get into the Grand Slam with 128 people in the main draw, and us being ranked 168th in the world. We certainly were not able to register for it just on its own. We need to qualify for it. So most likely, even if we get through the qualifiers, probably will not have a real long run in the Australian Open over the next couple of weeks. Would be great if we did. But that's part of the reason why we are then going to play another 80 level event in the Launceston Open in week 5, because presumably we're going to have some time back at the academy for training and rest before that event. After that, back to the United States, we're going to try to qualify for a higher level 250 event in New York, and then hopefully we'll be playing in the main event the next week, depending on whether or not we're able to get through qualifying. After that, we are going to take a week off to rest and train. Then we're going to try to get into the Indian Wells Masters. You can see, even though this 125 level event is only a little higher than the 80 level events that we've been taking, there's no guarantee that we're going to get in it because our ranking is not high enough yet. I tend to think with 48 people we ultimately will, particularly if we have a little success in the early weeks of the season. But if not, that'll be another week of rest and recovery and training. After Launceston, another week off. And then we are going to go to a 90 level event, the Shanghai Open in Asia, again on hard courts. You notice that everything we're doing is on hard courts and outside. The reason is that our facilities at our training center are so Spartan that we don't have indoor courts, we don't have clay courts, and we don't have grass courts to train on right now. All our people can train on at our own facility is just hard outdoor courts, which is why we're kind of focused on hard tournaments early in the season to be as effective as possible. Going to take a final week off as we get near the end of the first hardcourt season to train and rest. And then a little bit of an interesting twist here. We are going to drop all the way down to a Rookie 20 event in Europe. You can see last year the 322nd ranked player in the world won it. So the hope is that we will win the tournament and get the 20 points. More importantly, though, ahead of clay season, which will be starting in week 14, since we don't have clay courts at our training facility, we need to get some practice on clay. So hopefully, at the very least, Maxime will win a few rounds, get a little bit under his belt in terms of clay court activity and practice and experience, and then also potentially be able to if he does go on a 3 or 4 match winning streak in the tournament, do some practice on the play courts in his off time while he's there to position him more effectively for clay season, which will be starting in week 14. And you can see now that we're back that the first week of the hard court season, Maxime's entry to the Orlando Open was accepted, which we expected given his ranking. And now we need to set up his training for the week. This is our opportunity to really kind of customize his training plan. So we'll go to the training screen, and you can see what I mentioned before. Surface mastery, the only thing we can train our people on right now is outdoor hard courts, and even in tactics as we develop our academy, physical and technical. We will have more different types of training that we're able to do as we increase the capabilities of our tennis academy. So that's why those initial investments that I made at the start of this were so important. We want to be generating more money that we can keep investing into the academy, and we also want to have more options to help our players develop. So looking at Maxime, we had mentioned that his serve accuracy is kind of a weakness, especially given the great serve power. So we are going to focus on spending a little bit of extra time this first week, just focus on powerful serve for him. And you can see we're pushing it to a super heavy workload, willing to do that because we're still several weeks away from a potential tournament. So we want to just dump as much as possible over these next couple of weeks into getting him into better shape and kind of improving some of his technical skills. So we're going to focus on technical skills with the serve this week, and then come back next week and try to keep improving. So as we get closer to finishing the first week of training for Cressy at the Academy, got some good news and some bad news. We did sign our physio and one of our trainers, but the second trainer refused our offer. So at least we can start getting a little bit of better training for Maxime. We will definitely add Pitt, who's very good at technical training, instead of me. Get me out of there. And then where else is Pitt better than me? Not at physical, but she is better at tactical and mental than me. And then that will get me to be less distracted so I can be better. So at least that's a step in the right direction, and we will assign our very high quality physio to Maxime as well. So nice, now there's a better staff working with him, and we will go and make sure that we try to bring on a second trainer who can particularly maybe help with some of the tactical and mental things, or perhaps the physical in short order. All right, well, Cressy made some progress last week with both his serve accuracy and his serve power. Obviously, improving that accuracy and improving those tactical skills is most important, but good to see him moving in the right direction. Thinking about training for this next week, let's see. He's probably pretty tired now. Would be good to kind of build up his fitness and stamina also, to the extent that we can do some work there, and still have another week after this where we can kind of hopefully have his load be a little less than it was as he gets ready for the first tournament of next season. So I think we're still going to go pretty heavy this week, trying to get him in shape. We'll do some more placed serve to help with the accuracy of his serve. I realized I may have used powerful serve rather than placed or serve with spin last time, unfortunately, which was a bit of a waste. And then thinking about his stamina and his natural fitness, since we are a relatively unimpressive academy at this point, we don't have access to some of the top things, but we'll put him on an endurance test to build up some stamina and some focus, and then spend a little time with serving with spin also to hopefully improve his serve accuracy. So it's going to be another real heavy workload for Maxime this week as we get ready for the new season. And you can see that his physical condition after what we put him through last week is wiped out. His morale is only fair. But like I said, we will taper the week after next when we get closer to the first tournament of the year. So hopefully he will come in fresh and in as good shape as possible for the first tournaments of next season. And we were able this week to hire a second trainer, Spencer Vasaya from the United States, who's pretty good with physical. So we've got a real good technical trainer now with Cheryl Pitt, a pretty good physical training with Vasaya. Tactical and mental and training game plan, we're still not as strong as we will be, but hopefully after we build the enhancement to our sports center, that will open up the opportunity for us to hire more trainers. You can see with some of the signing bonuses that we paid to bring on staff, we're down to $162,000 before the season's even started, and obviously we'll be paying salaries to those people throughout. So it will be important to start earning money with Cressy in the coming weeks at the tournament. So let's hope that we get him in as good shape as possible before the season starts to do that. And we can see that I definitely did mess up in the first week of training and was focused more on serving power than placing the serve or serving with spin, because we made a lot more progress this week in terms of our serve accuracy with Maxime and his super heavy workload. He's been accepted into the qualifier for the Australian Open in week 2 of the new season. So we're going to pare down the training a little bit this week. I'm sure he's pretty tired. We'll focus on continuing to try to improve that serve with spin, but that's going to be the only additional section we add. So still a heavy workload, but we're backing off the super heavy that we have been over the last couple of weeks, and then quieter schedule Friday, Saturday, and then full rest on Sunday to hopefully enable him to be feeling stronger when the first tournament of the season does start. You can see still wiped out and morale is fair. Hopefully after the next week he will be feeling a little better. So we'll watch how the training goes for this last week before the new season starts. We've got our staff kind of all filled in at this point, so not too much should be happening. Hopefully he's starting to get a little rest now towards the end of the week, because he will be headed to Orlando when the new season starts. Apparently I have to do a press conference before then. Ugh. The horrors of being a leader of a tennis academy. And as we get ready for the start of the season, playing this coming week at the Orlando Open, Maxime physically is in top form, which is what we wanted. Morale, he's upset. That's not ideal, but he's in good shape, top form physically. Wonder if it will tell us why he's upset. Doesn't seem like he's complained to me about anything that I can think of recently. So maybe we worked him a little bit too hard, but we will be ready to jump into the Orlando Open shortly. You can see that he's going to get a little rest, work on his main game plan, a little bit more rest, and then he will be facing Peter Kobelt, it looks like, in the first round. But we are going to wait until our next episode to talk about how the season starts. Just wanted to spend this one kind of introducing people to the game and kind of the initial stages of setting up our academy and starting to train up our star player for the upcoming season. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will be back with another episode soon. Thanks for listening and watching.